Hey, Ivory. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. I love you.
This is Lucky Day, and right now we playing tracks from my new EP Table for Two, available right now. This song right here is called On Red.
I hope you guys are ready.
It's the first song off of my EP, and it's for the lovers and the lovers that feel ignored when they're texting on their text back.
Hello, everyone.
But you gon' make me beg. I get on my knees with that please you. Shut it up, we gon' find.
Hey, Des.
Show me your sign that you can be mine. Looking for a big be with. I'm in the back, come where you left off, 'cause you got me.
All right, we're at the famous number 10, so let me cut this music off so we can get started. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's to each of you all. Won't take up much of your Sunday. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday, great Valentine's so far. But I am here to disrupt the narrative. Hey, Miss Ella. I am here to give you all what God has given me for this beautiful Sunday. So let me just start off with, because I got excited last week. I did good for 2 weeks, got excited and jumped on last week, and could not believe that I forgot to start off in prayer. So I cannot get that excited anymore that I forget to start this off with prayer. So if you guys would, hey Tish, if you guys would close your eyes for me, with me, and bow your head so I can just cover this moment so it would be what God needs it to be for both of us. Heavenly Father, we come, oh God, thanking you for this time, oh God. We thank you for life, health, and strength, oh God. I just thank you, Father, for using me for this time in this moment. I ask, oh God, that you would open up my heart, mind, and soul, their heart, minds, and souls, so that we will be the better for whatever it is that you will use me to say to them, oh God. I ask, oh God, that you would not only just let it penetrate our heart, oh God, but that we would take action, oh God, that whatever it is that you're going to use me to say, that we would not let it just be a good moment, but a good move, oh God. How I love and thank you, Father. I ask that you would forgive us for all the sins that we've committed since the last time we prayed with you, and that you would bless each and every person on here, each and every household, oh God, even those who will watch it later, Father. I ask that you would cover them and be with them and allow this to be what each of us needed to be, oh God, not just them, but me as well, Heavenly Father. So it's in your perfect name that we pray. Amen. All right, so thank you guys again for joining me. My Sunday disclaimer, as usual, is I'm not here. I'm not a pastor, preacher, any of those things. I'm just here, one soul that God has chosen to use to talk to you all about some things that I've done right, wrong, and indifferent while on this journey. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I really believe that my stage name, or whatever you want to call it, is the exchange. I honestly believe that I'm here to disrupt the narrative. I'm here to exchange my truth for your transformation. So I hope that you would take anything that you get from these segments with me, take it as it coming from God. If you don't really care that much for me or whatever, please don't see me, see God. Because I promise you, each time that I'm doing this, I am preparing more, I'm praying more, and God is speaking to me more and more every Sunday. So this is not for entertainment. This is honestly came as a result of me pleading and whining and begging to God for a long time about some things I felt like I wasn't getting help with. Like, I never understood why I never had anyone that I could go to and talk to about the things that I was dealing with. And so what God had me to do was, he told me he wanted me to be that for the next generation. Everything I felt like I didn't get he told me, okay, so I'm going to use you to be that for the next generation. And so I'm here to, like I said earlier, to share with you the things I did right, the things I did wrong, and the things I did indifferent thus far on my journey in regards to loving myself, being a parent, being a wife, being a friend, all of those things. I've kind of touched on them here and there. But this week, God really dealt with me, and he made me sit down and start breaking things down so I can talk to you all specifically about one thing every Sunday. So with that being said, as I move toward that, today's topic, I kind of threw it in there when I posted today, which was, don't be so busy trying to trick me, you fool other people. Don't, and it's something I used to say to my children all the time. Don't be so busy trying to trick me, you fool yourself, because the joke gonna be on you. I used to tell my children that all the time, and I really can't tell you where I got that from. I don't think I ever heard it. I think that God has given me this gift that my mom had. My mom had this unusual gift of saying some of the weirdest things. And as I got older, I started repeating those things. And so my friends at work and even my friends now, they'll be like, girl, where you get that stuff from? And I'll be like, that's what my mama used to say growing up. And so God has blessed me to be able to come up with my own little sayings. And although they sound funny, I'm serious. I'm very serious. Like some of the things my mom would say, I'm going to try to say them without the curse words. Ooh, she used to say, eat 2 tons of shit, next the doctor if any more kill you. What she meant by that in most cases was when she explained it to me as I got older. I would hear her say it as a child, but as I got older, she told me, don't be so busy listening to my friends' advice because they over there eating 2 tons of shit next to the doctor if any more kill them. So let me just go ahead and say also my disclaimer on that is, if you don't want me to curse, this is probably not the segment, because I'm going to tell you I'm not that on the other side yet, that I don't use curse words. I'm sorry. I don't know. I think it's the comic in me. But anyway, so she would say, eating 2 tons of shit. They over there eating 2 tons of shit next to the doctor if any more kill them. While they telling you what they wouldn't do. And then she would say stuff like, too much shit for a nickel, not enough for a dime. Like, it's just too much. Ain't enough for this. It ain't enough for you to stay, but it ain't enough for you to leave. Then her other one would be, you got to ease your hand out the lion's mouth. Don't snatch it out, Yvette. Ease your hand out. And so, like I said, as I've grown older and I've become to share with my children, one of my sayings that just came to me one day when I was talking to them at a very early age, and they can honestly tell you I've been saying it for a long time, and I tell it to them all the time. Don't be so busy trying to trick me, you fool yourself, because the joke will be on you. And so today's segment, I'm talking about don't be so busy trying to trick me, you fool yourself, because the joke is going to be on you. And I say that in the most loving way, but what I mean by that is, today I'm kind of just talking about self-love, because today is Valentine's. Everybody don't have a Valentine's, but be your own Valentine's. And what I feel like I had to learn the hard way was how to get to a place where I actually liked myself, and then came to a place where I actually loved who I was, flaws and all. The fact that I was grown and still was getting acne. I had to come to learn that like that about myself, and then love that about myself. And unfortunately, those are things that, my family just didn't teach me. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, and different, but those are things I just didn't learn. There was not a lot of self-love taught to me. I was very skinny growing up. And so, I had family members that, as soon as I would walk into an event, they would say stuff like, there go the giraffe, there go Bing Pong. And it was very hurtful. They didn't mean any harm. They didn't know I had low self-esteem. They didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. But yet and still, that stuff really hurt me. And so I always wanted to look like somebody else. I always wanted to be the fine girl at school. I always wanted a butt. I always wanted big breasts. I always wanted good hair. Now, I had long hair, but just was never satisfied with the things that God has blessed me with. So I'm here today to disrupt the narrative. Like I said, I was late learning these things. So if you feel like, well, hell, I'm already 50, 60 years old. What she talking about can't help me now? Yes, it can. I'm telling you, I was in my late 30s before I got to a place where I liked myself. I probably was in my early 40s when I got to the place where I actually loved myself, flaws and all. And I honestly believe that God got me to that place because he knew that he was about to disrupt my narrative with me having to come clean about being bald. So he had to get me to a healthy place before I could help you all, if that makes sense. He had to get me to a healthy place before he could use me to help other people. And I know that to be true because like with the parenting thing, I used to love, when I first started teaching parenting for Galveston County Court, I actually liked it. But the more I started seeing God making me have to deal with that truth that took me 25 years to come clean about, I started moving myself away from it and I started saying, oh, I really love anger management. But once I came clean about my truth, I really went back to my first love, which was teaching parenting. I love teaching people things that I learned the hard way, the easy way, or I'm just discovering or whatever. I love sharing with people, even if it means sharing with you my ugly truth. So I'm here to tell you, like, I was late in life, getting to a place where I liked myself and then loved who I am. Like, I still ain't got much booty, but I'm good with it. I promise you I am. I ain't trying to inject, push, pull, none of that. And those that do it, that's fine. That's what's for you. It's just that I'm at a place. And that's one of the things that I'm teaching young girls. Like, I talk to the girls at the Boys and Girls Club on Zoom every other Thursday in Galveston. And one of the things I'm wishing someone had done for me at an early age is get me comfortable with looking at myself in the mirror. Get to the place where I love what I see in the mirror before I add the makeup. There's absolutely nothing wrong with makeup. Nothing at all. But you ought to get to a place first that you love what God is giving you before you start adding to, before you start putting the color context. And so for you young parents, before you start wanting to change or helping your daughter change their image, get them to a place where they love who they are first. Because my thing with what God gave me about that is the day that you're not able to go buy makeup, do you feel suicidal? Do you feel like you can't step out the house? Because I've heard young girls say that. I've heard young women say, oh, baby, I don't come out the house without makeup on, or I don't move around without my, eyelashes and all that. You got to get to a place where you love who you are, flaws and all. And then when you add those things, that's fine. But when you take them off, you shouldn't shun yourself from the mirror because you can't stand to look at who you really are. And then when that flows into us feeling like we got to go to bed with all that on because we don't want the man to see what we really look like, all of those things will have us feeling some kind of way about ourselves later in life. So if we can save our girls now, that's great. I promise you, I wish that someone had put me in a mirror and made me look at myself and make me be okay with the fact that I was skinny, the fact that I was small in many areas. But the fact that I had long hair, the fact that I had a beautiful smile, finding out that I had a pretty smile came as a result of me being bored as a child. And I would just sit in the mirror and make all kind of funny faces at myself. And then one day I was just like, oh, I look kind of cute like that. And so then I started perfecting this smile. And I literally tell people, if you'll look at a lot of my pictures, I smile the same way every time. That comes from something that I went through as a little girl. That's not something that somebody sat down and said, you have such a beautiful, even now, I'm 53. I've never had a cavity. I think I have a fairly decent, look for teeth or whatever. But again, those are little things that we need to sit down and allow our daughters to embrace and learn about themselves so they don't look for a man to say these things about them. And then when the man is gone, they feel like they're not anything. Or how about this? When the man get pissed off at you and he say the opposite of those things. You're no longer the love of his life. You that be this, that, or the other. And then you start feeling like you're those things. Why? Because you never developed self-love for yourself. You see, we ought to get to a point where when somebody say something to you, it shouldn't faze you. But when we don't have it deep down inside, when we don't have that within ourselves, like for instance, I couldn't be on here talking to you all about these things if I had not yet possessed them within myself. I promise you I couldn't. God wouldn't even let me fake it like that. If I wasn't at a place where I was comfortable talking to you all, bawling on. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still struggling with this ball thing. I am. I just want some hair. I just do. I'm gonna be real with you. But I still enjoy looking at myself in the mirror. I still don't, hurry up and wash my face or hurry up and brush my teeth because I can't stand to see what I see. I just like hair. I came from a family of beauticians, so I think I just like hair or whatever. But yet and still, I do. Even before I clean these glasses and put them on, I've come to a place where I understand. I think I just stopped having acne just recently. If that'll help anyone. Because I was in my 40s still saying, now this don't make no doggone sense. I'm still struggling with acne. But back to what I was talking about. We got to get to a place where we love ourselves for who we are and then teach it to our children, not just the girls, but the boys too. But I can't help. You'll hear me be one-sided a lot just because that's all I had. I raised girls. I've been around girls. Now, my grandson disrupt the narrative. He's the little boy that makes me see life a little differently. So don't get offended if you hear me keep emphasizing girls. You have enough sense to take it and switch it to boys if that's what you're dealing with. Don't get so caught into what I'm saying that you miss the message. So I'm saying all that to say, for those of you all that are grown and your children are grown, this would be a great time for you to sit down and talk to your daughters about, what it is you see in them. Learn to compliment your daughters. Learn to say things to them that you should have been saying. Like one of the things I noticed, I think I shared with you all, I was really good at telling my girls that I loved them growing up as little girls. But what in the heck made me think after they got grown, they didn't need to hear me say, I love you. So while I was writing my first book, The Exchange, God convicted me. And he was like, they need it more now than they did as children, because right now they getting it from men who only, in most cases, want something from them. They're not genuine. They're not getting it. So I had to apologize and go back to start telling my grown daughters, I love you every day. At least once a day, or sometimes multiple times or whatever, but making a point that they can remember the last time I said I love you. Because I'm like, they going through all kind of stuff, especially being single in relationships. And if this Negro, like the Negroes I done dealt with, where, they love me, I'm pretty, I'm all this when things are good, but when I'm not, they say the opposite. And if I don't have self-love for myself, I start believing what the hell they saying. So you got to say it to yourself. You need to believe it. And then you need to teach it to your children. You don't have children. Okay, you got nieces and nephews in the family. We got to learn how to reach back, you guys. I know that God gave me this platform to reach back and help the younger generation behind me be better to themselves, be better mothers, be better wives, be better Christians. But I need your help. I need you all to not be on here and just be interested in what I'm saying, but not move to action. I need you to move to action as far as start to spend some time looking at yourself in the mirror. Start saying to yourself affirmations. And y'all need to know that words are powerful. I was looking at one of the handouts that I give to my anger management class, and I wanted to read it to you all. It says your tongue is your worst enemy, or it can be your best friend. It depends on what you're saying. So it says what you speak about, you bring about. If you keep saying you can't stand your parents, you might lose your parents. If you keep saying you can't stand your body may become sick. If you keep saying you can't stand your life can be changed and not for the better. If you keep saying you're broke, guess what? You'll probably stay broke. If you keep saying you can't find a job, you'll probably remain unemployed. If you keep saying you can't find someone to love you or believe in you, your very thought will attract those experiences to confirm your beliefs. Turn your thoughts and conversations around to be more positive and power-packed with faith, hope, love, and action. Don't be afraid to believe that you can have what you want and deserve. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. The minute you settle for less than you deserve, you get even less than you settle for. In the search for you, you will discover truth. In the search for truth, you will discover love. In the search for love, you will discover God. And in God, you will find everything. Watch how your circumstances and situations begin to change when you change the way you speak. This is a handout that I give to all of my clients when they take anger management from me. Now, why would I feel comfortable handing that out to them if I had not experienced those things? You all need to know, like right now, however you're feeling, whatever state of mind you in, whatever financial situation you in, you most likely brought those things about based on what you were saying, what's coming out of your mouth. If you saying, shit, I'm always broke. Don't nobody love me. I'm mean. If you say you mean, then that's what you're going to display. If you say you always broke, you going to stay broke. Like, seriously. Like, I can't tell when, look at Facebook trying to act crazy. I can't tell you the defining moment when I began to start saying positive things to myself, but I can tell you I remember when I started seeing powerful and positive things start happening to me as a result of me saying positive, powerful things. There's my mentor out of Dallas, Cheryl Polo Williamson. She wrote a book, The Affirmed. And today's affirm was, I will love myself. So while y'all out here wishing somebody call and say happy Valentine's, I love you, and da-da-da-da-da-da, what are you saying to yourself? What did you wake up when you were washing your face this morning and brushing your teeth? What did you say to yourself first? Because a lot of times, I know I started out the wrong way in relationships. I was looking, how they say, looking for love in all the wrong places. I wanted so much from other people that I had within myself, but I needed to pull it out of myself. But again, nobody taught me. Well, I can't keep going back and using that as an excuse. Nobody taught me. At some point, you've got to say, okay, like right now, I'm on here giving you all this information. So now you can't say nobody has told you differently. If you see yourself right now in a situation where it's 6:30 in the evening, on Valentine's Day, and nobody has called and told you happy Valentine's. Nobody has said they loved you. I want you to not go to bed and not go in that mirror and look at yourself and say you love yourself. Happy Valentine's to myself. But not just about Valentine's, like every day. I'm begging y'all, don't let me be on here because I'm a little comical, but I'm serious. I've dealt with some things here the last couple of weeks since I've been doing this Soul Searching Sunday. I have people that contact me, and my heart is literally broken for the young women who contact me, and you all are all wrapped up in a man. When you think about what all you done went to school, you done got these degrees, and you're living good, and you put it on a scale. You weigh, okay, so I done wasted 1 year of a relationship with this man versus years of studying. You didn't stayed up sleepy. You didn't probably not spend enough time with your children. All of that to get this career, to waste it on a man that is showing you he's not worthy. One of the things I said to a young lady who contacted me this week, I said, help me understand. The dog has bit you. He didn't bit you. The veterinarian, the professional veterinarian is telling you this dog will bite you again. And you still petting the dog. I need you to help me understand why. So if that applies to you, I'm saying to you, whatever that situation is that you know not right, it's not working out in your favor. You have been bit by the dog already. The dog still got his teeth. The dog still smiling at you with the teeth. A professional, such as myself, an anger management specialist, is telling you the dog gonna bite you again. And you still over there. I know, but Okay. And then y'all have children and y'all say y'all love y'all children. And I believe you do, but you don't have no healthy love for them. Because guess what? You don't have healthy love within yourself. Because if you did, you would disrupt the narrative. You would break that off and move back toward what makes sense. And what makes sense is for you to make healthy, whole decisions for your children. Now you might be saying, well, Miss Yvette, you ain't do all that. You sure right. And that's exactly why I'm on here right now. Again, sharing with you what I did wrong, what I did right, and what I did indifferent. Now, why would you sit there and do the same thing I did expecting better results? Help me help you. Help me understand why. I'm telling you. Well, matter of fact, you got enough facts to see. This is not what you want to do. I'm begging you all. I wish it was some kind of way I could show you more into my life, but I promise you, I'm on here to disrupt the narrative. I'm here to share with you every stupid, ugly, great, loving, because I didn't make all bad decisions. And then you got to get to a place. This is the thing I talked to the young lady that I was dealing with this week. You got to put things in place. So when life do what life do, you can handle life. And you don't feel like I used to feel like you want to commit suicide. You want to jump off the cliff. But what I learned is I had to put things in place. You have to put people, places, and things. And by the way, let people be the last option because people are busy. As much as I love you all and I know this is my calling, you may call upon me and I'm busy. Or I might be going through my own situation. So I'm not available. I plead with you to put places. Like for me, I've shared with you all openly. I will go to the Strand in a minute. I love going to the Strand. I feel like I'm on vacation. I step away from a moment and just walk the Strand as if I'm a tourist like everybody else. So find places that you can go to when life becomes overwhelming for you. I so wish people had taught me these things early on in life, and I promise you I probably would not have made as many mistakes as I've made so far. So why am I here? To help you all not make as many mistakes as I've made so far. So put places in position. Go find places that you can go. The beach, the park, go run, go jog, journal, print, pray, all kind of things you can do. I'm just sharing with you what I do. I absolutely love the Strand. I had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago to take one of my clients on the Strand, and I said, this is what I do. And I showed her. I just walk up and down the Strand, go in and out the shops. I don't always shop there. And that came as a result of me working at American National and just being so overwhelmed. You guys, I used to cry on my way to work. And I think I shared with you all that at one point, my little girl, I would drop Kayla off at school, and Jada was a baby, but she could talk. And one time she said to me, she said, Mommy, why you cry every morning? She said, is the sun in your eyes? And I said yes to my baby, but that wasn't the truth. I was so broken. I did not love myself enough to realize I was enough. How about that? I did not love myself enough to realize that I was enough and that I shouldn't have to have dealt with some of the things I was dealing with. Some of it was self-inflicted. Some of it was man-inflicted. Some of it was life-inflicted. I'm not here to figure out who inflicted it because that was the past. The point is, I didn't have enough healthiness in me to pull myself up out of it. So I would literally get to the daycare, have to kind of put on some foundation again just to get in the daycare to drop her off. Then I cry all the way to American National. By the time I get in the parking lot, I got to put more makeup on just to get in the building, to get in my cubicle. And then as I climbed up the corporate ladder, I had an office. And I was so excited to have this office with blinds and a door. So when I was overwhelmed with life, I could close it. Well, if I was healthier enough, I would have left that door open more. And there were times I would literally have to work and listen to sermons just to get to lunchtime to go get back in my car and cry some more. I thank God those days are behind me. I want them to be behind you. But back to what I was saying. while I was there, God disrupted my narrative. He had me to start walking on the Strand, and I would walk my whole 60 minutes. Sometimes I'd be late getting back. I would walk, and just feel like I was on vacation. I would buy me some ice cream sometime, or I learned to find little odd things on the Strand that you won't find in most stores, and, buy little knickknacks or whatever. But I would literally act like I was on vacation so I could go back and make it through the second half of the day. So the first thing you have to put in place is places. I would encourage you to find places that you can go to. And then there are find things you can do. Maybe sometimes I don't have to leave the house. My husband was kind enough to make an office for me that literally is my go-to place. So I come here sometimes. I don't always have to jump in my car and drive to the Strand. But if it's a beautiful day, that is my first go-to. But nevertheless, my office is in such a way, and I think I showed you all some of it one time on my first segment. My office is in such a way that I can come here and step away from life. And then I have things on my phone. I have saved videos, you guys, that I have funny stuff. I have spiritual stuff, depending on what I want to listen to. But I go to those things when life becomes overwhelming, because life does become overwhelming. I'm not here to tell you if you become a Christian and if you just live right, no, it actually gets even more complicated sometimes, especially if you're late trying to figure out how to do some things differently. And then there are people. Again, I love people, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to always be available when you need them. And then you need to be particular about those people. You need to make sure that those people are as healthy and whole as you, or even more. How about that? Those people that you put in place, they need to be as healthy as you, or even more, but definitely not less. Especially if you're going to them for help. Because if you're around the wrong kind of friends, they don't mean any harm. But what did I tell y'all my mama said earlier? They'll eat 2 tons of shit and ask the doctor if any more kill them, while they telling you what they wouldn't put up with. So you got to be careful where you're getting your information from. You got to have people that's strong enough to pull you up out of it. Like, I have a few friends, they'll let me whine for a little while, but they be like, okay, it's enough of that. Let's move on. So you got to be very particular about the places that you're going. Like, I'm not saying when you feel overwhelmed and you know you got a drug problem, don't go to the drug house. Don't go around people smoking weed or doing whatever or drinking. Don't be silly with my instructions. So those places need to be healthy places. Those things need to be healthy things. I didn't say go to the liquor store and buy liquor when you feel overwhelmed. Now, don't get me wrong. I will have a drink. I love wine. But that can't be my go-to. But guess what? Guess what God just told me, to be real with y'all? That was my go-to at one point. When I first got to a place where I just was like, I can't keep doing this, I did retreat toward drinking. Got to the point where I was doing shots and all that kind of stuff. Thank God I had enough decent people around me to say, this not what you want to do. You're better than this. So, yeah, I still drink occasionally, but at one small moment, that became my escape. That's not a good escape. But again, I had the right kind of friends around me to say, that's not what you want to do. And then my husband, he was just like, that's just not ladylike to be, where you don't know where you at or what you doing or what's going on. So what did I talk about? I gave you all 3 points, and that's what I'm going to be doing every Sunday when I'm talking about something. So I gave you all 3 points of things you can do when life becomes too much for you. People is last. Places and things, and then people. But I've been saying it so long that I just say it like that. People, places, and things. But you know that I'm telling you over and over and over. People need to be the last thing, because people are busy. Like, even some of my clients, when they contact me, I may be on the phone with another client. Or I may be dealing with something with my children. Or guess what? Let's keep it real. I may not feel like talking. I'm just being real with you. Because while I'm doing all this, I'm still going through stuff. I'm still going through life and figuring things out. I hope this has been helpful to you guys. One of the things I wanted to ask you tonight is, what is your deepest fear? What is your deepest fear? Is that the very thing that's keeping you from making better decisions? Like one of the young ladies I dealt with, her deepest fear was what the man gonna do to them if they stop dealing with them. He got her so brainwashed that she's scared if she doesn't do what he say, he's only gonna make life worse for her. I can only save you so much. I can only tell you so much. You got to get to a place where you want to save yourself. That can only happen when you have a relationship with God. And that's where I tie all of this in. I am nothing without him. This is not me talking to y'all. I promise y'all. This is God using me to give you all what it is he wants to tell you. He just thought enough of me to use me to get the message. But don't think that I'm all that I've arrived to such a place that I'm above anything that you may be going through. What I say to you all in most cases is I may be a few steps ahead of you on how to do some things differently in life. But I'm still making mistakes too. I promise you. I'm still learning this thing called life. One of the things I said before, and I'll keep saying it again, the day you master perfection, you have no purpose on this earth. So I'm still trying to master things too. But I hope that I've said some things that are beneficial to you all. I am going to return you back to your Sunday. And I hope and pray before you go to bed tonight that you'll spend a little bit more time in that mirror saying, I love you, saying I'm okay with how I look, and happy Valentine's to my damn self. How about that? Happy Valentine's to me. I love you guys from the healthiest part of my heart. And I'll see you next Sunday at 6 o'clock for Soul Searching Sunday. Take care.